In which book did it start? In the book of Exodus, in the book of Leviticus? Where did homosexuality start? Come on, Sodom and Gomorrah. Where did you read about Sodom and Gomorrah? In which book? Genesis. Genesis. That's where in the beginning, homosexuals appeared. Well, right in the beginning, after God says, be fruitful and multiply, now gays are coming. How do you become fruitful and multiply with gays? So homosexuality is, that's why I've told people, I said, when somebody is gay or lesbian, whatever you want to call them, according to God, it's not just sin of rebellion. It's now a new belief. It's like a new worship. Are you aware? Go read Romans chapter 3. You'll come with the testimony. No, chapter 1 up until chapter 3. Homosexuality is a belief. It's a system. It's a system on its own. These are a group of people who said, God said marriage should be between a man and a woman. Then they said, no, there's another generation. There's another generation, which is man and a man, woman and a woman. This is a belief. It's beyond sin, like somebody would go and fornicate. It's beyond that. It's a belief system. It's like when you count the religions of the world, Muslim, Rastafarian, don't forget homosexuality. Don't forget homosexuals. It's a belief. It's a religion on its own. That's why when you say we've got, that's why in the country they say they've got gay, homosexual, gay or gay rights and whatever. You are just like saying there's a murderer's day. So when you see a homosexual coming up and manifesting himself, remember Genesis 1, 26, 27. That's what that's how those spirits have been launched out to come and frustrate. The spreading of God's image. They said no. Demon said no. Hallelujah, Jesus. They realized we can't kill everybody. They said we can't go around and killing everybody. We can't advise every woman to kill their children. No, we can't do that. But there's a way we can stop the image of God being manifested. Let's come with the homosexual spirit. Imagine a city like Gomorrah. People, have you ever thought to just find yourself in a position where you think about that city? Where a man like Lot, he's got beautiful children, 2 daughters who are virgins, never been touched. And people said, we don't care about your daughter. We want those 2 angels that came. We want those two men that came. Bring them. And these guys are fighting. These guys are fighting. To you, it's normal. To them, what you are, it's abnormal. Because they see, to them, when they see a man, I'm telling you. Now, imagine, I was meditating about this thing last week. Imagine when you find a man of God who's a homosexual. Hallelujah, Jesus. Hallelujah. They are there. You don't know them. They are there. They are married. Marriage is just covered. But they are there. So, hallelujah, Jesus.
The person behind that is not God. It's not an angel from above. Satan. Amen. It is Satan who's behind distractions. It is Satan who is behind misdirected callings and giftings. Where a gift that God has given to you is now being used for something that it was never intended for. And last night I gave you a simple example, which I know some people may have issues with it. We told you last night, God never created anybody as a homosexual. You see, God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. It is Adam and Eve. You see, and then somebody will stand out and say, God created me this way. It is a lie. God never created any, He never created any gay, He never created, you see, God is not part of the LGBT community. He's not part of it. You see, it's not supposed to be homosexual, it's supposed to be heterosexual. That's what God created. You see, so now when I was busy interviewing God day before yesterday, you see, about Lucifer, he said, I created Lucifer, but I never created the devil. Hallelujah to Jesus. So you can abuse what God has given to you. You can even underuse what God has given to you. Now, there are a group of people who call themselves Illuminati. Now, let me tell you something about the Illuminati that you're not aware of. The Illuminati people. Now, look at this. We are in the age and generation of information. Okay? Now, as we are working with divine revelation of the Spirit, what Satan is training those people into doing is to convert spiritual intelligence into scientific knowledge. Illuminati, you may think like Illuminati just recruits everybody. I'm telling you, that's a bogus. Illuminati wants intelligent people. Illuminati wants smart people. It doesn't want the riff-raffs and ratty and raggedy people. No. They are after smart people, influential people. They want presidents. They don't want water boys in the streets, in the taxi rank. They don't, come on. They don't want those ones. What they are looking for is men of influence. So Satan trains these people. And you may not even know that Satan is the one training them. Because the knowledge that they are getting is in a book. It's scientific knowledge. What does Apostle Paul calls them in Romans chapter 1? He calls them inventors of evil. Romans chapter 1, Romans chapter 3. Inventors of evil. Okay, think about it. Sit down and think. When somebody was inventing a gun, what was in his mind? A gun. When somebody sat down and say, I can come up with transgender surgery, what was he thinking about? What was he thinking about? No. Look at this. Some old psychologist or psychiatrist, people like Sigmund Freud, Carl Rogers, were against homosexuals. They were not really against homosexuals, but they will tell you that anybody who is a homosexual is somebody who has a problem in the mind. They've got a psychological problem. And then all of a sudden, in that diagnostic statistical manual of psychological sicknesses, now all of a sudden, when that book was being revised, because they will revise it time and again, somebody came with new knowledge, advanced knowledge. And then they changed what those guys in the old wrote about homosexuals. So guess what? We tried to investigate the new knowledge that they got. The new knowledge that they got. Guess what was the new knowledge? The new knowledge was this. Because a doctor can say, I'm a homosexual, then this thing is no longer a psychological problem. Because a lawyer can say, I'm homosexual, then this thing is no longer a. Because a senator, a president, a mayor can say, I'm homosexual, then this thing is no longer a psychological problem. Why? Because most people in a community, they now introduced a society of homosexuals. And you go look at these societies, they're not small people there, they're not poor people there, rich and influential people. Hallelujah, Jesus. Come on, if the president of a country is gay, do you think he's going to fight against homosexuality? No, he's going to promote it. If his funders are gay, he's going to promote it. But it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting that when a president has got depression, it is still called a mental illness. When a president steals, they still call him a thief. But when a president is gay, they say, oh, no. This is perfectly normal. So you go check in that book, the DSM, volume 5. Go check what they wrote about homosexuals. And go check the old volumes, what they were saying about homosexuals. You'll be shocked that the reason why it has been revised is because more people are accepting it. Hallelujah to Jesus. Now, this Apostle Paul says that the eyes, the very core of your being flooded with light, a flooding of light in your understanding.
Well, to this story now, where President Cyril Ramaphosa has signed new pieces of legislation which brings changes to some South African marriages and civil unions. The 2020 Civil Union Amendment Act was gazetted on Thursday and comes into immediate effect. Under the new law, marriage officers may no longer object to presiding over a civil union between persons of the same sex.
The Civil Union Amendment Bill. The law will prevent marriage officers from refusing to conduct same-sex marriages. Previously, it has been reported that some same-sex couples are being discriminated against by individual marriage officers. The bill has been described as a victory by the LGBTQI+
Now, the Department of Home
community.
Affairs has confirmed its plans to introduce a new draft marriage policy in South Africa, but it says the process was delayed as a result of the coronavirus. The new Marriage Act will enable South Africans of different sexual orientation, religions and cultural persuasions to conclude legal marriages. It will allow for equitable treatment and respect for religious and customary beliefs in line with Section 15 of the Constitution. Now, to